I've always been fascinated by the peculiar and unexplainable. As a child, my favorite pastime was exploring the abandoned houses scattered around our small town. There was one house, however, that stood out from the rest, the old Donovan estate. It was a grand, Victorian mansion, long forgotten and shrouded in mystery. I had heard the adults whisper about it, saying it was cursed or haunted. Naturally, this piqued my interest. On my 18th birthday, driven by an inexplicable urge, I decided to explore the Donovan estate. As I pushed open the creaking gates, a shiver ran down my spine. The mansion, with its peeling paint and shattered windows, seemed to stare back at me with a life of its own. The inside was as eerie as the exterior. Dust and cobwebs adorned the once lavish decor. I wandered through the rooms, each step echoing through the empty halls. It was in the library that I found it, a peculiar mirror, its frame adorned with intricate carvings. Despite the thick layer of dust, the mirror's surface was unnervingly clear. I gazed into it, and that's when things began to get strange. My reflection wasn't alone. Standing next to me was a young woman, dressed in Victorian garb, her eyes filled with sorrow. I spun around, but the room was empty. When I looked back at the mirror, she was still there. Our eyes met, and in that instant, I felt a deep connection, as if I knew her. One evening, I found an old letter in the library, hidden in a secret compartment of a desk. It was from Eliza to her lover, expressing her desire to run away with him, to start a new life. The letter was never sent. It dawned on me that perhaps I could change her fate. If Eliza had happiness, maybe the sorrow that seemed to permeate my life would dissipate. I decided to act. That night, under the full moon, I stood before the mirror, the unsent letter in hand. I read it aloud, tears streaming down my face. As I finished, a cold wind swept through the room, and the mirror shimmered. When the air stilled, I looked into the glass. Eliza was no longer in her usual attire, but dressed as if ready to travel. She smiled at me, a smile of gratitude and farewell. Then, she faded away, leaving me alone in the reflection. I left the mansion feeling a sense of closure. However, the story doesn't end there. In the following days, my life began to unravel. My father, whom I had always believed to be my biological parent, fell ill. On his deathbed, he confessed the truth. My mother had an affair with a descendant of the Donovan family. I was the product of that union. The realization hit me like a bolt of lightning. I wasn't just connected to Eliza through family, I was her direct descendant. My interference had altered my own lineage. Eliza's decision to leave with her lover changed the course of her life, and consequently, mine. I returned to the mansion, to the library, but the mirror was gone. In its place was a portrait of Eliza, radiant and happy, with a man who resembled the man in my mother's few remaining photographs. I had changed history, my history. I was an anomaly, a paradox. The world around me felt different, altered in subtle ways. Friends I had known all my life didn't recognize me. Records of my existence were scarce. In my quest to connect with my past, I had erased my present. I was a ghost, a whisper of a life that once was. The echoes of yesterday had consumed my today. As I wander through the empty halls of the Donovan estate, the only place I still feel real, I ponder the twisted fate I brought upon myself. In trying to right a wrong from the past, I had written myself out of existence. And so I exist here, in the space between time, a living testament to the power and peril of meddling with history. I am the echo of a life that once was, a life that I altered in a moment of misguided compassion. In the end, the Donovan estate was my beginning and my undoing, the echo of yesterday forever resonating in the silence of my existence.